Have you ever wondered how medieval shepherds survived brutal, freezing winters with their flocks? These tough guys developed survival tricks so smart that most modern hikers would die trying to copy them. Today I'm sharing 12 crazy winter secrets that kept shepherds alive for months in deadly cold weather. Sheepskin armor shepherds wore thick, woolly sheep hides with the fluffy side facing out. This created a super warm barrier against deadly cold. Spanish shepherds only put on this special gear during the worst winter days. It looked like armor, made from sheep wool with a big coat thrown over it. This wasn't just clothes, it was life-saving gear. Shepherds could even sleep on frozen ground wearing this and wake up alive. Winter, escape-smart shepherds didn't stay and fight winter. They ran away from it. They moved their sheep hundreds of miles to warmer places. Spanish shepherds moved millions of animals every year, walking from freezing mountains to warm valleys. Some trips were 750 kilometers long, taking weeks to complete. They had to reach safe places by October or face certain death. This wasn't random walking. It was perfectly timed. Shepherds who were late often died with their sheep. Fur. Secrets: rich people wore fur on the outside, for show. But shepherds knew the real trick: put fur on the inside. Medieval people always wore fur facing inward, never outward. Sheepskin coats had natural oils that pushed away water while keeping warm air close to the body. This made a warm bubble around the shepherd. They used furs from bears, wolves, rabbits, and other animals as inside linings. Smart shepherds wore multiple fur-lined clothes at once. This kept them warm enough to work outside in freezing weather for 16 hours a day without getting too cold. Smart. Mitten shepherds invented the first smart hand-warming system that armies still copy today. A 1379 shepherd book said, "In winter, shepherds need mittens to keep their hands warm. When it's not too cold or they need to use their hands, mittens should hang from a small hook on their belt." This wasn't just convenient, it saved lives. Needed warm hands, but also working fingers for emergencies. They made special mittens from hand-spun wool, often with colored patterns so they could see them in snow. The belt hook meant they could quickly switch between covered hands and bare fingers. This was crucial when wolves attacked or sheep fell in ice holes. Losing one mitten in a storm meant losing fingers to frostbite. Portable shelter set built amazing portable shelters that kept them alive sleeping outside in weather that would kill modern campers in hours. When sheep had babies outside, shepherds lived in small huts or wagons to stay close. Some made simple shelters using thorn bushes. The thorn bush trick was genius. Shepherds wove dead branches into thick walls that blocked wind, then covered them with sheepskins to make warm mini-houses. They knew that trapped warm air keeps you alive, not thick clothes. These shelters were positioned to block wind while still letting them see their sheep. Inside, they used their sheepskin coats as blankets and extra warmth. The natural oils in sheep wool kept ground wetness away, while the thick fleece made a heat barrier. Some shepherds even slept next to their sheep for shared body heat. This stopped both people and animals from freezing during harsh mountain winters. Fire. Mastery shepherds learned fire skills so good they could keep flames burning for days, even in snow and wind. This wasn't luck, it was survival, science passed down through generations. Who lived or died by their fire abilities. Shepherds made fire insurance by building multiple fire systems, main fires for cooking and warmth, backup fires hidden in snow-safe spots, and emergency fire-starting materials kept dry inside their coats. They knew which woods burned longest when wet and how to make fires that didn't create smoke to attract bandits or wolves. The best trick was the shepherd's bank, covering live coals with special mixes of wet moss and dry sticks that would burn slowly for 12 hours without watching. This meant shepherds could sleep all night without their fires dying, which often meant staying alive instead of freezing to death. Fire wasn't just for warmth, it cooked food, melted snow for water, dried wet clothes, and called for help. Expert shepherds could restart dead fires using flint and steel, even with frozen hands. 3-layer smart shepherds created a 3-layer cloth system that modern outdoor companies copied exactly. The system worked by wearing thin clothes closest to skin, then loose wool shirts that trapped air, topped with tight outer coats that blocked wind and rain. The inside layer was key. thin wool against skin that pulled sweat away while staying warm, even when wet. Middle layers trapped warm air in loose pockets, while outer shells stopped wind and water. When standing still, shepherds added big coats to trap even more warm air. This wasn't guessing, it was smart engineering. Shepherds knew that warm air your body heats keeps you alive, not thick clothes. They made systems where they could add or remove layers based on how hard they worked and weather changes. The secret was materials. Wool stayed warm when wet, unlike cotton, while tight outer layers stopped wind from destroying the heat barrier. Shepherds could work in storms for hours using this system without getting too cold, something that would kill modern hikers wearing expensive gear. Food, hiding staying alive in winter, needed more than warm clothes. Shepherds made secret food, storage systems that could feed them during week-long storms when normal food supplies failed. This was smart survival planning that kept shepherds alive. Clever shepherds hid food caches. Along their winter routes, dried meat, hard cheese, oatcakes, and honey stored in waterproof leather bags buried at landmark spots. They memorized these locations like a supply chain, making sure they were never more than a day's walk from emergency food. Food choice was crucial. Everything had to stay good after months of freezing, give maximum energy for weight, and need no cooking in case. Fires were impossible. Shepherds carried salt to treat sick sheep and themselves, knowing it preserved food and helped with medicine. During bad weather, shepherds could live on these caches for weeks while waiting for better conditions. They rationed carefully, knowing exactly how long supplies would last. The most experienced shepherds shared cache locations with trusted friends, creating survival insurance. If one shepherd died, others could use his emergency supplies to prevent more deaths. This community survival network was essential for surviving winters that killed unprepared people. Wolf, fighting winter, made sheep easy targets for hungry wolf. Packs and shepherds learned fighting skills that turned them into warriors, who could fight off multiple wolves using just sticks and dogs. This wasn't herding, it was life or death combat. Shepherds trained their dogs, using blood smell, cut open one sheep's ear and let blood run out. Then, let the dog smell it 2 or 3 times. After this, the dog will only grab sheep by the ear, never hurt them. This made precision attack dogs that could tell sheep from wolves during dark fights. The shepherd's stick wasn't for walking. It was a weapon made for killing wolves, long enough to stay away from teeth, heavy enough to crush skulls, and balanced for quick hits. Expert shepherds could kill wolves with one blow while commanding dog attacks. Spanish shepherds worked with special dog breeds known for being both gentle and brave. These weren't pets, they were trained war animals bred for wolf fighting. The human dog team was so good that wolves learned to avoid flocks with experienced shepherd-dog pairs. Winter wolf attacks were extra dangerous because hungry packs were more aggressive, and snow made escape hard. Shepherds who couldn't fight, lost their entire flocks, and usually their lives, to winter wolf attacks. Sheep, surgery shepherds, did emergency animal surgery in freezing cold using skills that would amaze modern vets. When sheep got hurt or sick in remote winter places, shepherds had to save them right away or watch whole flocks die from cold and predators. A 1379 shepherd book explained treatments like putting salt in sheep throats to make them drink and get rid of poison from bad plants, and throwing dirt or water on their backs to make them shake and move around to fight off toxic plants. These weren't old wives' tales, they were proven medical treatments. Shepherds carried surgery tools hidden in their coats, sharp knives for cutting, metal tools for checking inside animals, and strong thread for sewing up wounds. They could cut off frostbitten sheep hooves, treat infected cuts, help with difficult births, and even do emergency surgery on dying mothers to save baby lambs. The most important skill was treating freezing in newborn lambs. Shepherds learned to spot early frostbite signs. It could bring back apparently dead lambs using body heat, careful warming, and forced feeding. A skilled shepherd could save 90% of winter-born lambs, while beginners lost entire birthing seasons. They also did emergency teeth work, treating mouth infections that stopped sheep from eating. Starving sheep died quickly in winter, so mouth surgery often meant the difference between flock survival and total loss. These were precise medical procedures done with frozen hands in howling winds. Weather-reading shepherds learned weather predictions so accurate they could see deadly storms coming days early. skills that often meant life or death for both herds and humans during harsh winters. This wasn't superstition. It was real science based on careful watching of nature signs. Master shepherds read weather through animal behavior. Sheep bunching up in certain ways meant blizzards were coming, while strange bird movements showed temperature changes. They watched clouds, wind direction changes, and air pressure shifts felt through joint pain and headaches. To predict weather 2 to 3 days ahead, the most experienced shepherds kept mental weather calendars based on decades of watching. They knew which mountain passes would be blocked by snow on specific dates, when valley fog would clear, and exactly how long winter storms usually lasted in their areas. This knowledge passed down through teacher-student relationships, like military secrets. Spanish shepherds developed deep cultural practices that included weather prediction rituals, spending more than 6 months away from home during seasonal moves. These traditions preserved centuries of weather wisdom. Communication networks between shepherds sharing weather information across huge distances helped coordinate survival strategies. When one shepherd spotted approaching bad weather, word spread through the network, letting others find shelter or change travel timing. Shepherds who mastered weather prediction could move their flocks to protected spots before storms hit, arrange emergency shelter, and plan food rationing schedules. Those who failed to learn these skills often lost entire flocks to unexpected weather that killed hundreds of animals, and sometimes the shepherds too. Natural GPS shepherds traveled through blank winter landscapes, using skills so good they could find exact locations in total darkness. During blizzards, abilities that kept them alive when getting lost meant certain death for both shepherd and flock. Shepherds memorized landscape features invisible to untrained eyes, specific rock shapes, tree arrangements, ground height changes, and even subtle plant patterns that stayed recognizable under snow. They made mental maps covering hundreds of square miles with detailed knowledge of safe routes, water sources, shelter spots, and emergency exits. The Spanish Maesta organization kept a network of royal tracks covering 125,000 kilometers of marked sheep trails with specific watering and resting stations. Shepherds learned these routes like military maps, knowing exact distances between landmarks and backup paths. When main routes became impassable, star navigation was crucial for night travel during winter moves. Shepherds used star positions to keep direction during cloudy weather and could calculate travel time based on star movement. They understood seasonal star pattern changes and how to adjust navigation calculations throughout winter months. The most advanced skill was dead reckoning, calculating position based on walking speed, direction, and time passed. Shepherds counted footsteps, guessed walking pace, and tracked direction changes to know their position even in complete whiteout conditions. Emergency navigation included making trail markers using stacked stones, broken branches, and scent marks that other shepherds could follow. These survival breadcrumbs could guide rescue parties to lost shepherds or help survivors find their way back to safety. These navigation skills were considered sacred knowledge, with shepherds viewed as having special connections to divine guidance, because they could find their way through harsh environments created by God. These shepherd survival facts reveal winter mastery that makes modern extreme survival shows look like comfortable camping trips. While we panic about car heaters failing, medieval shepherds thrived outdoors for months in killing cold using techniques that would save modern lives. The most shocking part, these primitive methods provided better cold protection than expensive modern outdoor gear costing thousands of dollars. You could start building your own winter survival skills by learning the 3-layer clothing system and sheepskin insulation techniques immediately in your backyard. Modern survival experts studying these shepherd methods report developing cold weather skills that could save lives during power outages or winter emergencies. Want to master these survival secrets that kept shepherds alive through medieval ice ages? Subscribe for our complete guide to winter survival techniques that actually work in today's uncertain climate. Don't let winter dependency kill you. When centuries of proven survival wisdom is waiting to transform your cold weather preparedness forever.